Sir, this might be for the best. Adam ventured as his mentor paced the length of the conference room. If the police arrest Harax, he'll never have the chance to get near Kathy. That's if the police arrest him, and I doubt they will. But he's guilty. We don't have enough proof. All the clues point to it, yes. But even if the authorities do believe he is connected to these robberies, even if they see the pattern, there is still a mountain of red tape standing in front of them. That man is very powerful in many circles, and if my fear is justified, he is also very dangerous. That, and we're assuming he won't make bail, or just run things from the inside. Night Shadow halted his pacing and looked at his protege with fatherly affection. I know this pains you, that you'd rather bypass putting her within an inch of harm, but you must understand that Hrax doesn't play by the rules, and the only way of staying in his game is to remain at least 2 steps ahead. Adam nodded reluctantly. So what do we do? Aside from what we've already planned, I'm not sure. Night Shadow conceded. But we must think of something. Kathy woke up early Wednesday morning and quietly crept to her dorm's lobby. Over the last few days, she hadn't heard even a whisper of concern for Northside Bank from anyone. After making sure no one would be disturbed, she flipped on the television and turned to the news. What am I expecting to see? She thought. I called in that tip 5 days ago. There's been plenty of time for the police to go public if they wanted to. Sitting down on the old, overly floral sofa, she pulled her physiological psychology notes from her book bag and began studying for a possible pop quiz. The lobby clock chimed 8 notes. If something was going to happen, it would happen within the next 4 hours. Upon seeing her enter the station, Officer Engelman excused himself abruptly from his co-workers and made a beeline toward her. His clear intention of preventing her from causing a scene almost made Kathy want to make one, but she stood at the entrance and waited for him to speak first. We should talk, he said in a hushed tone. Mind going to my office? Nodding, she followed him through the precinct to a small, one-windowed office. Why didn't you show? Kathy demanded once the door was shut. He let out a light sigh. I didn't have good enough rationale to take a squad out there. Good enough rationale? So much of your best has been nothing but hunches. He squinted at her use of air quotes, but permitted her to continue. What was your rationale at the broker case, or the drug bust last month? She questioned, allowing her hands to participate in the conversation. And what about the time you arrested 15 people? Do you remember the headline? Officer's hunch proves fruitful? I think you got promoted for that one. She paused. So if you've got the heart to put faith in hunches and sporadic radio signals, why can't you listen when someone comes in here and tells you something is going to happen? That's just it. He looked at her calmly, despite his rising curiosity on how she could possibly know about the radio transmissions that were somehow allowing him to keep tabs on notable gang activity around the city. Those leads, those hunches that I have, they're a place or a time, a snippet of possibility. He ran his hand through his hair. All of them about known criminals. I have never had a college student come by and accuse one of the most prominent men in the city. He stole campaign money. And that hasn't been proven. And how do you even know about that scandal? The papers kept it quiet. He sat down on his desk to take a breath. If Lawrence Hacks was part of something illegal, I think I'd know about it. For one thing, he doesn't keep a low profile. He's always in some magazine article or another, and... He stopped himself. "And what?" Kathy asked, almost daring him. At this, Engelman turned and grabbed a paper and pen. He looked right into her eyes and looked down and started to scribble. And then he spoke. "Look, I just don't believe that such a public citizen, who obviously cares for this city, could be some kind of criminal mastermind. Politicians get a bad rap, but you haven't been in their position. Everything you do is either bad or good to two separate, always warring groups. What do you do?" He looked up and turned the page to her. His forehead was perspiring. The page read, "Bugged. Bad cops. Run. Don't ever come back. Danger." A knock at the door shocked Kathy. "Engelman! 2 cops must be present at all times with co-ed visitors. That was your rule. We're coming in. Unlock this door." Engelman grabbed Kathy's arm and slung her towards the window. It was already open. She flew through it onto the fire escape. There she froze. The door inside opened. "Engelman, where's the girl?" "I started to lay into her, and she threw some sand in my face and ran out the window when you came knocking. Ah, crap, my eyes. Get me to the sink, I can't see." "Follow her." Kathy rolled and slid down the ladder. She hid in the garbage. "I don't see her." "Get down there and find her." A cop stepped out onto the fire escape. Kathy stayed very still. He hit the ground and ran down the alley. Another cop met him at the end. They split up and went separate ways. Kathy slowly picked herself free of the dumpster. Tiptoeing down the alley, she soon found herself at the end of another, and that one crossed into yet another alleyway. It was almost a maze, but she soon found herself a block away. "Phew," she breathed a sigh of relief. "Gotcha!" A strong hand clamped around her wrist. Before she could react, the cold brick of a back alley wall slammed hard against her shoulders.